Hey everyone, welcome back. It's been about 3 weeks since I was able to do any work on the car here. And the reason for that is because we got snow, we had tornadoes, we had days and days of rain, and every time the weekend would roll around, that's whenever we would get all that bad weather. So it's currently about 26 degrees outside, but the sun is shining and it's a blue sky, as you can kind of see through the trees here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get everything I can done today so that the engine is ready to pull, and a lot of these holes that we had cut out previously, I'm going to go ahead and get a bunch of filler pieces cut out and tacked in at the minimum. I got all day to work on this, so if I can, I'm going to get all the little pieces welded in. And then tomorrow, if I can't get around to it today, tomorrow I'm going to get the heads off the engine and everything else, get as much weight of it reduced as possible, because yesterday I finally got around to getting my engine stand. And what I did was just bought a cheap one from Harbor Freight. It's like the 1,000-pound one. So I figured, let's play it safe and get as much weight off of that block as possible first. So, you know, is what it is. But anyways, that's the plan. Body work, tearing apart the engine, seeing what it looks like, because if you remember, supposedly when I bought this car, the engine was rebuilt. So I think before I go inside tonight, at minimum, I'm going to pop these valve covers off and see if they're rusty or, you know, any signs that the engine actually was rebuilt. Because when I was looking at things just like the motor mounts, they're just barely in there. So, you know, I don't know. Anyways, it's going to be a fun day. Let's get to work. So to maximize time, what I'm going to do is on all of the places where we have to make a little patch panel, I'm going to take some cardboard, put it on the inside, and I'm going to just go ahead and trace the opening. Do that to all of them so that I can just cut them out, transplant the pieces onto my sheet metal and draw all the lines, and then I can just cut everything at once so I'm not just wasting a bunch of time. So all right, let's go do the other side. Looks good. So as you can see, except for the one with the X, there's all my pieces. So let's go cut them out. All right, guys, so I'm getting ready to start welding in our panels here, or patches rather. And I'm using a flux core welder because it's the only thing that I have. Now, the thing about welding with flux core is it's dirtier and it's not as good of a weld. I mean, really, I should be using gas if I was in a shop to protect it, and then just kind of do a couple little tacks, and then, you know, fill it back in with a TIG. But I just wanted to let you know what I've found previously, at least with this Forney setup that I got right here, is whenever you go to weld your little patches in, you know, you see a lot of people that they're coming like directly on it and it just doesn't work as well. What I've actually found is that if you bring the gun and you try to almost match like as flush of an angle as you can and kind of push the metal into both sections at once, it really works a lot better. So that's just a little bit of a body welding tip that I got for having to do body work with a flux core. Like I said, it's not preferred, it's not the best, but if it's all you have, if you take your time and you're willing to do a lot of extra grinding, it can really work. So let me go ahead and get this set up, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start tacking all this on. All right, so we got this side done. I went ahead and removed that light marker right there. We got this side welded in, and then this one was a lot smaller, if you remember. And what happened was it just didn't work. I cut it all wrong, and when I tried to use it, I ended up finding some more pit rusting at the bottom, so I had to cut out even more metal. But nothing has been ground down yet. This is just rough welded in. So what we're going to do is we're going to finish up over here, and then we're going to go ahead and start getting all of this stuff out of here so that we can see just how bad these holes are in here. So let me get a little bit more work done, and then I will jump back up with y'all once this is all done. Be with you in a sec. All right, everyone, just want to give you a quick update before we get to the fun part of seeing what this engine is like. I haven't ground any of my welds down, and I just put a little black spray paint just to keep it from rusting until I can grind it down. But I got that one fully welded in. I got that one finished up. Let me go ahead to around here. I got that piece in, and that piece right there welded in. And then up here, I got that piece in there welded in. Yeah, so I haven't had a chance to grind anything down. It took a lot longer than I was wanting, but that's pretty much just the way this entire project has been. Everything is taking longer than expected. Now, went ahead, and I haven't taken anything off yet. I just moved that bag that I was trying to keep from helping water, you know, whatever get in. But I started looking, and I realized, oh, sorry, let me back up. I went ahead and took the wiper motor out, and I found a whole little fort for the mice. But yeah, so, you know, I noticed like that bolt is missing. That bolt's not even all the way in. The valve covers, they're missing some bolts. And if you, this is the best part. It's obvious that this guy had absolutely no intention on doing anything with this anytime soon, because the block and the trans aren't even fully mated. You know, there's loose bolts, And then, oh, this is another one. I don't know if you can see that back there. Look at that. He didn't even tighten up the motor mounts, you know? So, at any rate, the fun part begins. Let's start tearing this apart so we can see what kind of shape it's in. Be right back. All right, guys, let's have a little fun, huh? See what kind of shape everything is in. I'm gonna go ahead and start with this valve cover, and then we'll take off that valve cover and see what we get. I'm not very hopeful because you probably can't tell, but they did just an absolutely horrendous silicone job mating the intake. So if that is a sign of things to come, I guess my biggest fear is just that this engine isn't going to be usable and that it wasn't in fact rebuilt and I was just lied to for a sale. But if that's the case, that's the case. We're going to roll with the punches and have fun in the process, because I've learned a lot, and you know, you can't buy experience. So at any rate, if any of y'all are watching this and you see things that I'm doing wrong, do me a favor and let me know. I'm not one of those that thinks they know everything and is too good for feedback, but oh wow, well that's great. So I don't know if you know this or not, but you need a piece in here to operate the old valves, and I don't have that. So man, that really sucks. That really sucks. There's no way this was rebuilt. It's just whatever. Hey, let's do the other side. This is fun. Let's see what kind of shape this one's in. There's not even a gap. There's not even, you can't see me, whatever. There's not even a gasket holding these valve covers. Or not holding these down, I should say. There's not a gasket for the valve cover. But that's, man. This is not good. This, was there two? Yeah. two hole bolts for this one. Oh, look at, oh, that one's got one loose. Oh, geez. Look at that. Loose as can be. Well, I hope this guy didn't pay for this engine work that he claims it's had, so whatever. I mean, I can source all these. That's no big deal. All right, let's get the intake off, shall we? All right, guys, so I went ahead and got a smaller flathead, busted the silicone seal that was holding her together, and I think she's just about ready to, yeah, there we go. Gosh. Yeah, they didn't even use a gasket, guys. They just straight siliconed her. Well, let's get her off. I think she'll pull right up now. I think I see something wrong. Maybe not. Let me show y'all what we got here. Let me see if y'all can. Let me see. I think this is supposed to be connected from here to here. I think. It seems like it should be. This isn't good. This is not good. Well, dang, what do I do now? I guess I need to look up and see if my suspicion is correct, but I really think that there's a chunk missing. And this thing is filthy inside, so it definitely has not been rebuilt. And at this point, there's a very good chance that all I have here is a boat anchor. So, yay. All right, guys, well, it definitely helps to have friends who know more than you do. A guy that follows my channel, his name, he has his own channel. He's Just Mopar Joe. Really smart guy. I sent him a picture of what I thought, where are we at? Right? Yeah, right there. So that spot where I was like, this can't be right. It looks broken. Well, it's normal. And he sent me a picture of his, and it's the exact same. And he said, you're good. So what I did was I got the heads off, as you can see, and each piston head shows 0.020. So I believe the only thing that makes sense to me, right, is if the piston head is stamped 20 thou over, then it's been bored 20 thou over. And you know, I see some cross hatching still that looks new. So it leads me to believe that maybe at some point the engine has been bored over and they did start rebuilding it. I'm not sure. You know, the cam looks good and it looks like brand new, which, I mean, they should, you know, unless you just wear one completely out, it should always look pretty good, right? But so it's tough. So Just Mopar Joe, he said that the heads that I took off, I sent him the casting number, and he's saying that online is saying that they're 360 heads because it's got like a 7-digit stamp on the bottom. So we're going to do some investigating on that and see exactly what we got here. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and get some oil slapped on all this, some thick oil, because it's got to sit overnight. I'm going to wrap it because tomorrow I'm going to be pulling the engine. But it certainly appears as if, one, we have an engine that can be used, which is great, because I mean, it's, you know, it's a little dirty, but it's also not, in a sense. But also, the guy who built the engine, put the engine together, apparently he has a thing where he doesn't like gaskets, because aside from the heads, he didn't use a gasket on anything, just some silicone, so, or RTV, you know. At any rate, I got a little bit more work to get done so that tomorrow everything will be ready for the engine to just go ahead and yank it up with the tractor. So I'm gonna hop on that, and then I will jump back up with y'all in just a second. All right, welcome back, everyone. So, well, sometimes my microphone gets turned and then my voice is like over here and then it's clear and then it's not. Anyways, okay, so back on point. Went ahead and got all my tools cleaned up because I don't know if you can tell, but the sun is, she's leaving. And so I went ahead and got a trash bag and wrapped the engine up. What I did was, since it's a little bit exposed, I took some of my gear oil that I have, since it's real thick, and I just coated all the cylinder walls and poured some into the valley and on the cam and the cam gear and the distributor gear, and just make sure everything's protected overnight. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put a tarp on top of this so nothing should happen. Anyways, so the good news is that tomorrow, hopefully, fingers crossed, the weather's supposed to be nice, and my buddy should be coming if he's still willing. He's gonna drive his tractor over here so we can pick this up, and then we'll take her on to the shed and we'll get the engine in there, and then we'll start tearing it down. So yeah, so the good news is that the lifters are all brand new. The cam looks brand new. It's already been bored 20 over, and it's got, Just Mopar Joe did some more digging, and he found out that the heads on it are the 318 HP from the early 80s. So we're assuming that means high performance. And it's got the TM5 aluminum intake on it, which, you know, if any of y'all know, it's not the best. It's like, it predates like the Performers and all that, but it's still an aluminum intake and it's bought and paid for, so we're going to use it. So yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and finish packing everything up, and then tomorrow I'll start filming as soon as we get everything ready to get this old girl out. See you then.